I think the main lesson of 2013 is don't overpromise.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Barack Obama's second inaugural that virtually nobody remembers now, Barack Obama ripped the mask off of his presidency and revealed that he was going to govern as Barack Obama.
Together we discovered that a free market only thrives when there are rules to ensure competition and fair play.
The president came into office in his second term the way he came into his first term, wanting to spend more money, and yet his one major legislative accomplishment began the year with how to cut spending.
The sequestration cuts began on March 1st of 2013. They were applied equally to military spending and discretionary spending, which is spending on basically every other federal agency. Notably, it didn't impact entitlement spending, which is recognized as the main driver of the deficit.
March 2013, the sequester takes effect. Across-the-board cuts in national defense. It has been as damaging as predicted to American readiness, to American national security, and worse yet, it's the kind of bludgeon when you need a scalpel operation that the U.S. government excels at.
All over the world are realizing that these programs don't make us more safe.
On June 5th, Edward Snowden gave his first batch of what was going to turn out to be an enormous batch of vital national security information to The Guardian and to other newspapers, at which point countless people rallied to his defense as if the vomiting up of all classified information counts as journalism. It does make you wonder why the KGB just didn't set up a website.
On July 1st, Congress allowed the interest rate on the subsidized Stafford student loan to double overnight. I would have thought we were going to go all the way to the 11th hour on student loans, but we didn't. We went right past it, and then we didn't solve any of the problems anyway. The main takeaway for me from 2013 was the more we focus on student debt and helping borrowers after the fact, the less likely we are to solve the real source of the problem. That's the cost of college.
In August, Bashar al-Assad attacked his own people with chemical weapons, crossing a red line that had been laid down by Barack Obama during the 2012 presidential season. The president threatened an attack against Syria for having crossed that red line, but he stood down when Vladimir Putin, of all people, negotiated an end to the disagreement between us. A travesty.
Washington went dark from October 1st to October 16th. The federal government shut down over an impasse on what to do about Obamacare, and all of this coincided with a debt limit deadline where the U.S. was set to default in the middle of October if a deal wasn't reached. And as Congress did in the middle of the night on New Year's Eve, they did again and came to a last-minute deal to avoid default. In the end, Republicans didn't get really anything of what they asked for. What they did get was a lot of negative press.
The Obama administration had built up the exchange rollout for about 3 years, pointing to October 1, 2013 as the day Obamacare would go live. The shutdown essentially overshadowed what was going on behind the scenes with the healthcare rollout. The websites were not able to process the applications.
I would have predicted the website would have worked. I just would have thought it worked. I had no idea that they were going to farm this out to the very best computer programmers in the Amish community.
The website is a encapsulation, really, of the entire law in a certain sense. It's trying to process a very complicated enrollment system and subsidy calculation system through a website.
So here's the hilarious part, right? The Republicans by the end were just begging for a delay in Obamacare. That would have saved face for them. And Obama said, absolutely not, we cannot have any delay. Harry Reid called people who wanted a delay racist, extremist, hostage-taking, puppy-killing psychopaths. And it turned out that the thing Barack Obama needed the most was a delay in Obamacare.
The United States, along with 5 of our allies, signed an interim agreement with Iran to begin, possibly, to suspend, maybe, part of its nuclear program, we hope, in return for some, maybe a little bit, probably a lot, of sanctions relief. 2014 is going to be all about watching this Iran deal come together or fall apart.
We fumbled the rollout on this healthcare law.
Some 5 to 6 million people received notices around November 1st that they were losing their old insurance plans, contrary to the promise the president had made.
There is no doubt that the way I put that forward unequivocally ended up not being accurate.
The fact that the website isn't working properly still at that time means that these folks are going to have a very difficult time getting new insurance coverage before their old plans expire on January 1.
Basically, Obamacare was sold on a trinity of lies, which sounds like an awesome goth album.
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. If you like your private health insurance plan, you can keep your plan. Period. Taken together, the reforms we're seeking will help bring down skyrocketing costs, which will mean real savings for families, businesses, and government.
None of those things were true.
On December 6th, President Obama laid down the gauntlet that he wants to debate over the next 3 years to be about income inequality.
And over the course of the next year and for the rest of my presidency, that's where you should expect my administration to focus all our efforts.
AEI economists Michael Strain, Stan Voiger, Aparna Mathur, Sita Slavov have done considerable research on this issue about how to actually help the poorest in the society in a sustainable way going forward.
When I look back on 2012 and some of the things that our scholars predicted, whether it was Leon Aaron foreshadowing Putin's consolidation of power, or it was Katie Zimmerman predicting that Al-Qaeda would continue to grow, continue to spread, and continue to attack, I just want to tell people they ought to be paying closer attention to our scholars because clearly they've got the finger on the pulse of the world.